Well, the planets have certainly aligned for Aussie actress Teresa Palmer, who in just a few short years has gone from retail checkout chick to Hollywood starlet.
Soon she'll feature in the upcoming...
My bad. It didn't say checkout chick, but I thought that would make, you know, the whole big picture more dramatic.
Sure.
It was close enough.
It was close enough.
Yeah.
Don't you reckon it's made it more dramatic?
Did you used you used a cash register? In
yes, at Hungry Jack's.
Yes.
Oh, see, well, it's even better. I wish I knew that. She's gone from flipping burgers and putting
some fries.
Yeah. Anyway,
Well, soon
hang on, roll it back. This is I can do it better. I can do it better.
Okay, you're gonna go. Okay.
Well, the planets have cleared.
Take two. Go.
Welcome back to the morning show. Well, the planets have clearly aligned for us. Aussie superstar Teresa Palmer, who started out flipping burgers in a little burger joint, putting cucumbers on, cooking fries up. Now, to the bright lights of Hollywood.
Soon, she'll feature in the upcoming Point Break reboot, and it seems there's plenty more for Teresa to smile about along the way.
From a simple farm life in the Adelaide Hills to the bright lights of Hollywood.
I love your accent. I love an Australian accent. You're from Australia. You grew up there.
Fame was written in the stars for Teresa Palmer. In 2006, she was discovered while working in retail and cast on the spot in her breakthrough role in 237.
I just rang to say that I miss you. Is everything all right? You okay? Yeah.
Soon, the movie offers came rolling in. The 28-year-old has starred alongside the biggest names in the biz, from Daniel Radcliffe in December Boys to Nicholas Hoult in the zombie hit Warm Bodies. Her latest flick sees her teaming up with her husband Mark Webber in the drama The Ever After.
I asked where my wife was.
Of course you did! This is your crisis, your job, your schedule, never about me!
And off camera, Teresa is finding her happily ever after with husband Mark and baby boy Bodhi.
Ooh, Archie. Mommy needs that hair.
Oh, I'm sure there's someone in Hollywood that can put new hair in.
Yeah, they do it, yeah.
Teresa Palmer joins us now. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. Is it nice to be home?
It's amazing.
Is it?
I'm so happy to be here, yes. I've already immersed my son into the Australian culture. I went to playgroup in Bondi the other day.
Yes.
Trying to make sure he gets an Australian accent.
Yeah, oh, you can do that. One day in playgroup in Bondi, he will sort that out. Is it hard to be over there and not get caught up with all of that sort of stuff? Have you got to make a really conscious decision of we don't want to play the Hollywood game for him?
Yeah, I would love actually eventually to homeschool when he's old enough, and we travel so much and we want to really keep our family together, so we would love to travel around, get an amazing homeschool teacher, and yeah, so they can stay with us.
Oh, that's the difference. I was going to say you will not want to homeschool your child, but if you have a homeschool
You
teacher,
have people.
Yes, and online.
Yes,
You
that
have
will make
the maths
all
tutor, the English
You don't
tutor.
have to do it.
Yeah, well, that's
I'm not
yes.
great at math.
Oh my goodness.
No, you're going to do tennis and what you usually do, and then the tutor comes.
It's just very demanding, the whole...
welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Do you get starstruck ever? Because you're working with some big dudes.
Yeah. Oh, Carrie-Anne Kennelly last night. That was one for me. Me and my friend of 21 years, Kat Mason, she's a paramedic. We saw Carrie-Anne at the David Jones show and we ran over and we asked for a photo.
Oh. I so thought you were going to say Daniel Radcliffe or something there.
No,
Carrie-Anne,
no.
So tell us about this. You're doing a remake of Point Break, which is that surf movie, which was familiar to so many of us.
Yes.
What's different about the reboot?
Yeah, well, this one is definitely a retelling. It's a re-envisioning. It's more of an international story, and the characters are still the same. We have Johnny Utah, who's a very iconic character, and then we have Bodhi, which just so happens to be my son's name as well.
Yeah, I'm coming back to that. No, it's not. I'm coming back to that. Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's set in this really amazing world of eco-terrorism, and it's intense, and we have these amazing surfers in the film. I mean, Laird Hamilton did a lot of the surfing in our movie. We have the top guys and the top sports around the world, so I'm really looking forward to it. It comes out Christmas this year.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
that's
must
a
point
long
out
way
those
away.
shots were from the
original, yeah.
And the old one was dodgy too. So when you talk about, oh no, it was a good movie, but you know, from a surfing perspective. So when you talk about Laird Hamilton, we had one of the cinematographers in it, one of the greatest big wave photographers in the world, who's working on it as well. So it's going to be a great surf movie as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much extreme sports at its best.
Patrick Swayze in the first movie, his character's name was Bodhi. Your son's name is Bodhi. What's going on with that?
I know, this is so embarrassing. I got the movie after my son was born, and I didn't name him after the original character from Point Break, but the character of Bodhi in Point Break is named for the same reason that my son Bodhi is named, which is derived from Bodhisattva, which means enlightened one in Sanskrit. So it's Buddhist, yes.
Well,
yes.
He'll get more of that at the Bondi daycare, by the way.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
So that's that. But you're also doing, about to release another movie which actually features, you star opposite your real life hubby.
My hubby. Yeah.
So what's that one called?
It's called The Ever After, and it's a movie that my husband and I, we wrote together, we produced it together, we financed it, he directed it, and we are self-distributing it. And we shot it in Adelaide as well as Los Angeles, and it's very much an exploration into marriage and the breakdown of marriage. And and it was a juxtaposition to what was going on in our real life as we were just getting married and getting pregnant. But it's pretty dark and interesting and real. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, it's gritty.
It's gritty. We don't sugarcoat marriage at all. We really delve into how challenging it can be, especially when there's a breakdown of communication.
When you're auditioning to play your husband's on-screen wife as his off-screen wife, what's the audition process like with that?
Oh, it's really challenging. Yeah, I kind of wrote myself the role, so I didn't have to audition. But no, it was interesting. I really had to bite my tongue some of the time because I had to remember that my husband was the director. Yes, I wrote. I felt like I really knew this character. We definitely blurred the lines between reality and fiction. But I wanted to give him the space to create the movie he wanted to create, and I just really handed him over the reins and just had trust in him. He's done a bunch of films that have gone to Sundance, and he's just a brilliant man and knows what he's doing and knew the story that we wanted to tell.
Oh,
that's great.
How did you, on particularly intensive days of shooting where you had to be horrible to each other, how did you leave that at the door at the end of the day shooting, or did you?
We didn't really.
He slept in the spare room.
I remember my husband Mark was like, "Do you really hate me though?" He's like, "Because that was really good." And it was interesting because you can't help but be affected by the subject matter. And Mark and I say that the movie breaks your heart, but then it rebuilds it again. And it was like that during the process of filming. We surrounded ourselves with our greatest friends and family, and they were all in the movie. My dad's in the movie, my sister, my mum, and that really helped. It was just this sacred little community of people who are rooting for this movie.
Did you have to pay them normal award rates, or mum and dad do it for you?
Yeah, it was a little less than normal rates. Dad did it for free, thank God.
Oh, good on you, Dad.
Yeah.
Good on you, Dad. Is it a real treat then to come on a couch like this one and talk about something that is such a passion project?
Yeah.
It even means more to you than some of the big Hollywood projects, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. It was such a beautiful collaboration, and I think I've done a lot of these big budget studio films which are so adventurous, and I really enjoy that, but mainly you end up being a puppet in so many ways because it's written for you. Everyone has a say on how you look and how you sound, and this one we had complete creative control, so it was very liberating for me as an actress and a producer and a writer. I could really delve into parts of myself that I haven't been able to do yet in some of these other bigger budget films.
We just showed lots of snaps there of the family. Unlike some Hollywood people who are quite private, you're quite open with the way that you share your family life. And is that a conscious thing, or it's just who you are and we get to see that? Or?
Yeah, for me, I feel like the industry that I'm in can sometimes give such a false sense of reality, and I believe that I have a responsibility to show my authentic self in many ways, and it's something that I really love to do. I have a health and wellness website called Your Zen Life, and I do these TES talks where I talk about various things going on, facing adversity, and I really like to strip it down bare and have no makeup on and be real, because I want people who follow me, especially my younger demographic, these females who look up to me, to really understand that we're all the same and we're all going through struggles, and please don't try and strive to be this thing that Hollywood makes us out to be, because we're not that, and that's really important to me. So I show a lot of my life. I haven't actually shown my son's face on Instagram. I feel like he has the right to privacy until he decides that he doesn't want that. So
at 5 he'll be.
at 5 he'll be like, show my face, Mum.
Wait till he calls that first blue steel, and he'll be up everywhere. So then, with all of that said, is it hard for you to live in Hollywood, surrounded by all that plastic, synthetic stuff, when all you want to do is what we were just talking about then, sort of try and keep it real? It must be hard.
It's challenging, and I think it really took me until the last couple of years to understand that I just really have to cultivate self-love and self-acceptance, and it's no use trying to source happiness from external places. And in Hollywood, it's all around you. I mean, you walk out your door and there's paparazzi, or there's you know, people with plastic surgery, and it can be really isolating and sad. But when you have that self-awareness and self-confidence, I think you can really handle it in a pretty graceful way. And I just recognise that I'm very blessed and I have a wonderful group of people around me, and if I can continue to find that self-acceptance, then I'll be fine.
Well, that's what you've been getting in Adelaide, no doubt. When do you head home?
I head home actually for my son's first birthday, so I'm having a big party there on the 22nd of February, and we're also doing the Adelaide premiere of The Ever After there. We chose to do it in Adelaide, so that night we'll be premiering. Yeah, and you can buy tickets online, so we would love to see people come out.
So I know you didn't pay your dad.
No.
Is he on is he at least on some sort of points system where he'll get some sort of money?
He gets the whole back end. No.
The whole back end.
It's so Hollywood.
I know.
I'm not actually sure what that means, but it sounds very Hollywood.
Well, you know, you do the movie for free, and then you might get $1 for every $1 million it makes.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
So your dad's going to do particularly well.
Yeah, he's a gambling man. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Good stuff.
Thank you so much
Guys, thank
for
you very
swinging
much.
by. It's
Thank
lovely
you.
to get a little insight into your life and what makes Teresa Palmer tick.
And don't ever change any of that stuff either.
Thank you.
That's great to hear, isn't it, coming out of Hollywood, just to
absolutely.
keep it real. A very Australian thing to do. Come back here, make a pretty movie, and...
Proud Aussie.
Although for Bodhi's birthday, she has got the Ferris wheel arriving and the
I do have a jumpy castle and a water slide.
and the clown troupe and the ponies. But apart from that, she's so down to earth and grounded.
And the Learjet taking all the guests to Bora Bora.
That's right.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, guys.
Teresa will be in Adelaide at the end of this month for the Australian premiere of The Ever After. What's Dad's name?
Kevin Palmer.
Starring Kevo. And his mates. For more details, just head to the Daily Show info section of our website. Great to see you.